Hey, welcome to an episode of recipes my wife sends me because she wants me to make them at home. But this recipe comes from Graham. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, but I'll take him down below so you can go check out his original recipe. I'm gonna change this one up a little bit, but this recipe is almost like French onion soup mashed together with macaroni and cheese. So thin slice about 5 to 6 Spanish onions because we're gonna need a bunch of caramelized onions, and don't worry because you can't really have too much. Then in a heavy bottom pot over low heat, we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of olive oil, followed by all of your sliced onions. And I like to use a wooden or a bamboo spoon because you're gonna stir this every few minutes, maybe every 5 minutes. After about 10 minutes, some sugars and some little onion bits are gonna stick to the bottom of your pot. So you can use your sliced onions to sort of scrub these bits back up. These stuck-on bits are referred to as fond, and once you reach a point where your fond can no longer be scrubbed up with your onions, I like to keep a little bit of water around, and you can give this like maybe a tablespoon or two of water. That little bit of water is going to dissolve and pick up those brown bits. This way, when the fond forms again on the bottom of the pot, you can repeat this process with the water as many times as you want. Then in a pot of boiling salted water, add about a pound of your favorite pasta. We're only gonna cook our pasta for maybe 3 to 4 minutes because we're gonna finish it in the oven. And at the same time, my onions are right where I want them. It's gonna take about 45 minutes to an hour to get your onions to this point. I've tried all the tips and tricks and baking soda and different things, but when you make French onion soup, all of the flavor for your French onion soup comes from these onions. So if you wanna make French onion soup that makes people howl at the moon, you wanna nail this step. When your onions are here, add about 5 to 6 minced garlic cloves, followed by the leaves from a few sprigs of thyme. Just stir this in and immediately add a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. This can be red or white wine or any other booze that you think might sound good. But everybody does that, so I figured I'd give you a different option. But just like those other liquids, you want to reduce this for a couple minutes and this vinegar will start to smell nice and sweet. While this reduces, I'm gonna go strain this pasta. Then add about 2 cups of heavy cream. I like a nice pinch of black pepper. Then we're gonna add about 1 quart of beef stock or bone broth, a pinch of kosher salt. Then just let this come to a simmer and remove it from the heat. And you can do this step while your onions are caramelizing, but we're gonna grate about 8 ounces of Swiss cheese and about 8 to 10 ounces of Parmesan cheese. And a good tip, especially if you have your kids helping with this, is that when you get down close to the grater, switch to the palm of your hand. The palm of your hand is a much tougher surface than your fingers and your knuckles. Also, don't throw this Parmesan rind away, steep it into your marinara sauce or your soups. Then add about 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs to a separate bowl, and about 1/3 of our cheese. Okay, time to get fancy. To the rest of our cheese, we're gonna add our French onion sauce and our barely cooked pasta. Maybe next time I'll mix it in a smaller bowl, before getting this into a deep 9x13 pan. And don't be shy with your cheesy breadcrumbs. Then we're gonna bake this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until our breadcrumbs get nice and toasty. Check this out. And follow me if you and your significant other send each other things you wanna eat.